In the year 1900, England and America, which had just 2% of the world GDP in 1750, waltzed to 41% of world's GDP. And India and China, which had 57.5% of world's GDP in 1750, they crashed to 8%. India's share being 1.8% and China's 6.2%. Till 1850, India's share of world GDP was 14%. In just 50 years, India crashes. And between 1880 and 1900, India witnesses 23 large famines in which 30 million people die. That was the time Swami Vivekananda takes a travel across the country. What he sees was hunger, poverty, illiteracy, a country dead, a civilization written off, our own people celebrating foreigners, decrying our own forefathers, intellectuals, our own way of life, calling ourselves backward. This was the situation in which Swami Vivekananda traveled across the country. And he went in 1893 and told the world, with that situation in the country, that here is a country which alone can make the world live in peace and harmony. And he told the world, we have a model which no other thought leader, no other great man could expound. That is, we can live with anybody and everybody. We can worship any God. We accept all gods. And people who were driven out because they worshipped a particular God, they all came here. We kept them in our bosom. Whether it is the Jews or the Parsis. And he told the world that something which the world did not know. And in 1897, he told Indians something else. He said, you are in such bad condition, but I am having a vision. And that vision is as clear as I am seeing you. He told the audience, I am seeing that vision. That vision is that Bharat Mata is sitting on the throne and ruling this world. Anybody would have thought that Swami Vivekananda had gone mad. That was the situation in 1897. He said in 50 years we would get freedom. 1947, we got freedom. You know, he was a great visionary. He was a seer. And we just celebrated his 151st anniversary. 150th anniversary, we just completed the 151st birthday of that great man. He was just 30 when he addressed the world Parliament of Religions. That was the first public meeting he addressed. He never addressed public meetings earlier. You know, in the 150th anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, the National Intelligence Council of America, which is the think tank attached to the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, they came out with a report, what the world will be in 2030. And in that report, it is said, all the major world powers today will become regional powers. There will be only 3 major world powers, which are called global powers. That will be America, China, and India. His vision is proving to be true. The germination of the concept that India can become a power, that we can become a military power, we can become an economic power, we can become a cultural power, we can become a soft power, we are a hard power. All this originated in 1998 when the Pokhran atom bomb blast took place. Till then nobody was bothered about India. India was a great country. It was a country of Buddha, it was a country of Gandhi. It's a country which preached peace. Nobody bothered about this. But the moment India exploded the atom bomb, the change an advertisement executive, she wrote an article in the Economic Times. In that article, she said, no, she, being a housewife from India, but gone to great heights in the advertising profession. She would go abroad but would not stay in hotels. She used to stay with her friends and relatives abroad. She said whenever she stayed in their houses, the way they used to abuse India, a country, a rotten country, a third-rate country, a corrupt country, this country will never succeed. It is doomed to fail. She said, many days I could not sleep. But everything changed on one day. That was the day on which the Pokhran atom bomb was exploded and the entire non-resident Indian population celebrated this as Diwali. You know why? India wanted strength. Once it got that strength, the entire world pounced on India. Sanctions, technological, financial. Every country put sanctions on India. And in fact, our own intellectuals, economists, they said, what rotten thing this government has done. But this government came out with a scheme. That our weakest sector is the external sector. Foreign exchange is our weakest sector. That is where the world will put pressure on us. Because we don't print dollars. We don't print pound sterling. We don't print euro. But we need it. That is where the pressure would come. Our foreign exchange reserves are poor. Why I am mentioning it is that is a context which we have to handle today. At that time, the government appealed to the non-resident Indians. We want $5 billion. You please contribute to the India development bonds. At that time, nobody from outside would trust India with $1 because whether India would return that money or not was a big question mark. But the non-resident Indians contributed not $5 billion but $6.2 billion. You know, the world took notice of it. There is an Indian spirit. That is how the world, which began treating India as an untouchable because India exploded an atom bomb, slowly began to come. It is not just a collection of mass of people without spirit. It is a country which has developed its own pride. And then you see it never turned back. That is why in the year 2004, India had achieved high level of savings. It had external surplus. It had contained fiscal deficit. Unbelievably, in 5-year period, we generated 6 crore employment. Unbelievable. No country in the world was able to do it. The spirit of India was aroused.